Greetings, serious, frugal, ambitious Capricorn. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and a tarot card reader. And now I'm going to do the Capricorn overview for May 2020. I'm going to do a tarot reading, and then I'm going to talk about the planets a little bit in the second half. Definitely stick around for the planets because there are some major planetary shifts happening in May. And I recommend if this is the first time you're stumbling upon my channel, please subscribe first of all, and then second of all, I recommend that you watch the videos for your sun, moon, and rising to get the most out of it. And if you don't know your sun, moon, and rising, definitely contact me to have your chart done. Everyone should have their chart done at least once in life. It's a wonderful tool for self-awareness and self-discovery. And as we enter the month of May, Capricorn, you are looking very strong, strong in a gentle way. And you are covered by the Seven of Cups reversed. So it looks like in the first few days of the month, possibly there's something that you're not quite able to envision how the future is going to go. You can't quite see it. And what is you're crossed by Judgment, which is a very Capricornian card, Judgment. I think Capricorns are very familiar with all the facets of what this can mean. And I think that in general, things are coming to a head for you. Things that have been building for a long time in life are coming to a point of fruition, for better or for worse. The basis of the situation is the Five of Swords, and this is communication issues probably that need to be cleared up, or dealing with communication in a situation involving more than two people, so multiple people are involved, and this can be family situations, this can be work situations, this can be friend situations, but there's a dynamic where power is being wielded with communication being withheld, manipulation, power dynamics possibly. And what's leaving is the King of Rods. This is a man, possibly a fire sign man, like an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or possibly just a man who inhabits those fire sign kind of characteristics, like a man of action. What could come into being, the Emperor. So around mid-month, we see a man taking charge of a situation. This could be a father, a husband, a landlord, the patriarchy in general, a politician, things like that. And also around mid-month, we see maybe a missed business opportunity or missed financial opportunity. It could be somebody reneging on a financial offer or something like that. Fears or insecurities. It looks like it could be around business and finance, or a business proposal, a business opportunity, a financial opportunity, something like that. Others see you, the Six of Cups. Others see you as a sweet, good friend. Positive feelings. Towards the end of the month, it looks like you have very positive feelings about a success or an achievement of some kind. And then the outcome. At the end of May, Capricorn is looking liberated, becoming free of constraints, free of something that has had you tied up, either mentally or somehow in the physical world. And so, yeah, that's the tarot overview for Capricorn. If you relate, please put something in the comments for me and let me know. And now I'm going to move on to the planets. There are 3 planets going retrograde in May. And one of them goes retrograde in Capricorn. So definitely listen to this part, Capricorn. For the Capricorn rising personality, this May is going to really be happening in your 6th house, which is the house of health. And it's also the house of day-to-day activities and mundane tasks. It's also the house of service. So for the Capricorn rising personalities, any of those could be big themes. If you know your rising sign, watch that video too, and then you'll know what house a lot of the activity is happening in for you. And if you don't know your rising sign, contact me to have your chart done, and you will then forevermore know what your rising is. So May 5th, there's a nodal shift happening. The nodes are moving into the Gemini Sagittarius axis. So the North Node will be in Gemini. When this happens, our collective North Star will be changing. And this will be happening over the next year and a half. And it's going to affect us all individually in different ways, depending on where the node shift is happening in our chart. So it's an excellent time to get a reading and to look at the nodes. May 7th is the full moon of Scorpio. This is a very powerful full moon, a very psychic full moon, a very sexy full moon. It's a full moon that highlights research, mysteries, detective work, digging into anything. It's for the Capricorn rising personality. That will be happening in your 11th house of friends, groups, organizations, things like that. Yeah, what else can I say? Full moons are a great time for a reading because the psychic energy is very pronounced, and the Scorpio full moon is the most psychic of all of the full moons. So Saturn, May 11th, Saturn goes retrograde in Aquarius. That's the first retrograde of the month. Saturn is Capricorn's natural ruler, so anything that happens with Saturn is very important for Capricorn. And I might note that it's at 1 degree Aquarius, which means the retrograde is starting in Aquarius, but it will be soon into Capricorn. So that's going to be very significant for you coming up. So definitely subscribe and make sure you tune into my Capricorn video next month too, to talk about more about what that will mean. But for now, it's at 1 degree Aquarius. And for the Capricorn rising personality, that will be in your house of finances, money, resources, possessions, also the house of self-esteem and values. And Mercury, May 11th, Mercury is moving into Gemini. And by the way, Saturn, which I was just talking about, is where we have to face reality, boundaries, discipline, work, that stuff. May 11th, Mercury moves into Gemini. This is a good time for communication. This is a great time for written, verbal, all the communications. Mercury in Gemini is where Mercury is at home. And it'll be there until May 28th. So that whole period is very favorable for communications. May 13th, Mars enters Pisces, where it will be throughout the rest of the month. When Mars is in Pisces, at that point, collectively, we will all be very more driven by emotion. Pisces is very emotional. Mars is the planet of drive. For the Capricorn rising personality, this will be happening in your 3rd house of communication. Also on that date, Venus goes retrograde in Gemini. This is a significant movement. This is the 2nd planet going retrograde in May. Venus is about relationships, romance. Venus is also art and creativity, and Venus can be money. This is the first Venus retrograde we've had in a year and a half. Venus retrograde is not as common as Mercury retrograde, but when Venus goes retrograde, relationships come up for review, or issues in relationships, unresolved issues in relationships come up for review. Or if you're not in a relationship, unresolved issues that you have around that come up for review at this time. For artists and creative people, things about your creative process or your art or your work come up for review at this time. Retrograde is review. And Gemini is communication and writing and speaking, and so all of that will be reflected in varying ways during the Venus retrograde period. So it's a great time for a reading to see where that's moving through your chart and what area of your life where you can expect to see it manifest. And May 14th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Capricorn. For the Capricorn rising personality, this is going to be happening in your 1st house of identity and physical appearance, personality. All of those things are ruled by the 1st house. And for Capricorn suns, this is going to be transiting your sun at some point during the Jupiter retrograde period. So again, a really good time for Capricorns to get a reading. May 20th, Jupiter is the planet of expansiveness and fortune. Also, there's these Capricorn, Pluto Jupiter conjunctions that are happening. One happened April 4th. These are very intense for Capricorn this year. The next one happens June 30th. The next one happens November 12th. So these are important aspects to look at for Capricorns. So you should definitely contact me for a reading so we can talk about these and look at them specifically, how they angle your particular planets. And May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini, so it's Gemini season. And Gemini season doesn't tend to be Capricorn's favorite of the seasons, but it's a questioning time, I think, for Capricorn. A lot of questions come up during this time. So it's not the worst, it's not bad, but it can be uncomfortable, causing questions which lead to learning and clarity and greater understanding. So I want to definitely spin it positively. And then May 22nd is the new moon of Gemini, and the new moon of Gemini, new moons in general are the most fertile cosmic soil to plant the seeds of intention that you want to manifest in the area of that new moon. And the new moon of Gemini is the writer's new moon. It is the perfect time to begin any writing project. You will be fully supported by the universe to complete and have that come to full fruition. It's also the perfect time to start learning anything new. Gemini rules early learning. And it's a great time to set any intentions around communication, any intentions around writing, any kind of writing, songs, legal writing, novels, plays, movies, scripts, whatever you're doing. Also, it's a great time to set intentions around siblings, great time to set intentions around neighbors if that's an area of concern, great time to set intentions around your nervous system. Gemini rules the nervous system. So that's the new moon, and the new moon of Gemini will be happening in the 6th house for Capricorn, which is the house of service, the house of health, and the house of day-to-day activities. May 28th, finally, the 4th and final planetary ingress that's happening in May, Mercury moves into Cancer. And Cancer opposes Capricorn on the zodiac. So during the period of Mercury in Cancer, which will span into the next month, but it starts at the end of May, and for those last couple of days of May, communication will become more emotional. For early degree Capricorns, you could end up in an emotional communication dynamic with somebody at that time. And that will hit different Capricorns throughout the course of that Mercury traveling through Cancer in your opposition sign. So yeah, that's the broad overview. Thank you for joining me, Capricorn. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a don't like. Please share this video with other Capricorns you know. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Also, please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.eliannicole. I do posts and updates there throughout the month. And have a wonderful, wonderful May, Capricorn. Thank you.